Hi, and welcome to SBR Sports Picks. His name is Jimmy the Bag. My name is Peter Loshak. This is the Friday morning version of the Loshak in the Bag show for May 4th. Jimmy the Bag and I chug along, do this twice a day, every day, of course, and we really, really appreciate and love all the regular viewers and commenters who give us so much love and so much interesting handicapping information. The big play from yesterday was the Penguins, and that one cashed. The Raptors, though, what's going on? They might actually get swept.
Oh, they
might get swept.
Very.
In fact, unless they win on the road, they will get swept.
Man, it broke my spirit.
Mm-hmm.
It broke my spirit. I had to. Oh fuck! It broke my spirit. What can I say, man? I was very, very disappointed. I went to bed very early, quick jerk and choke, and then I came in
all right,
bright and refreshed this morning. But that was heartbreaking, man. It was just fucking awful.
Yes, that sounds good. Jacoby Valentine says, crushing MLB this season so far. Very nice, Kobe Valentine. Texas came up for a big dog win. Yeah, for me, MLB is the same as always. My top plays that I'm given in this show are, kind of 50-50-ish, but the secondary plays that tend to be a little bit, not counterintuitive, but what's the word where you're going against a contrarian, like Seattle last night, like Texas last night. I'm just putting in my leans category, and they are cashing, and I got to start giving it. I knew Texas was the way to go yesterday, just didn't have the balls to give it, but I did give the under, which lost. But overall, I have a pretty good feel for MLB today. I might not have any plays in MLB though. Let's see. Comments coming in. Let me just see what happened. Dennis Garcia says the appropriate word for Raps' performance yesterday: outclassed. Now, I didn't watch the game, but was that just the refs gave it to the Cavs, or were they just outclassed?
No. LeBron was just. LeBron could have gone 1-on-5.
Very nice. Trey Corey, 7-0 in bases last few days. Very nice. Kobe Valentine says, Pete, all your leans in every sport, always catch. Yes, and there's a reason for that. It's because, usually my top plays are the plays where there's, something that I'm not seeing, whereas my secondary plays, I kind of am seeing everything, and you can make a strong argument against it, but my sense of where the value lies is accurate. So my secondary plays, my leans, that's been the way my whole betting career. My second level plays have been much better than my top level plays, which have usually been 50-50 or at times less than a coin flip. So let's see what else do we have here. Then Nashville did get the win yesterday. Very nice. So they tied it up. That was one that I should have had the under on that one. You knew that game was going to go under after the way the first game went.
I can't believe I had this fucking sound off on Rene and their defense the whole fucking time. They're just getting shat on by everybody. So now oh wow, Rod Digger says Gabriel Morency was crying on the show last night. I get it. It was really sad, man. It was really, really sad. The whole set, they're calling Toronto Lebronto now. It's fucking awful. Yes, I didn't have the balls to take Nashville, but their defense stepped up. Rene stepped up. It was great. I'm happy for them. I'm happy for my futures. All is good.
All right, well, we'll see. The NBA, the name of the game in NBA playoffs is always later on in the series. Expect the completely unexpected based on how the beginning of the series went. We've seen this time and time again. Would not at all be surprised if the Raptors do wind up being at least a good bet, if not taking both games in Cleveland, at least a good bet. But we'll get to that when those games come up. Let's see. Comments coming in. Gate Passkey says it's funny how everyone jumps on me when I make a bad call, which I will be accountable for, but give me props for my playoff wins. Lots of them. Yes. What did Gate Passkey predict yesterday? I don't know. Gate Passkey thought that Rene was done. And he had to go. All right, so maybe that's what he's referring to. Yes, no, we love you, Gate Passkey.
Yeah, we love Gate Passkey.
We try to jump on everyone when they make a bad call and give them props when they make good calls all the time. We try to be 100% accurate, which of course is impossible. All right, so let's see. Comments coming in. PRC Publicist and Co says still believes that the Jets will win the series. Okay,
a little less confident today than you were yesterday, though.
Let's see what else. What other comments do we have? And I guess that's about it for now for the comments. We do reportedly have a tweet that's going to be coming in today. So we will do the tweet segment of this show, and we will address the tweet live on camera, live on wax. Let's see. I guess that's it. Let me see. And Let's move on. How about it, Jim?
Let's roll.
How about MLB? We haven't shown the MLB records in a long time, and they're not good. I guess we can throw them up there. Throw these MLB records up there. I'm down single digits. I'm down single digits, not double digits yet. Do you have the MLB record? Yeah. It's not looking good for me, but, overall, again, on the year, I'm up, and that's because my secondary plays and my leans are positive. Nothing crazy, but definitely positive. So when I look at my overall record in MLB, it's okay for me this year, and I'm once again, I'm optimistic going forward for the entire season in MLB. We'll see how things turn out. I made no bets on the overnight line as of right now. There's a huge card. I might take it easy on this card. I might have only 0 plays on this card. Although there's one play that I think I'm definitely going to give. I have to think that Medlin is going to get hit for Arizona here against Houston one way or the other, right? Medlin is coming back for Arizona. When he was not good in the majors, he would get crushed. He didn't have good minor league numbers in his rehab starts, and now he's going to be here at home against Houston. And I got to think either the Houston run line, Houston team total over, something like that is worth a play here. What do you think, Jim?
Yeah, I mean, I need to spend more time on a few of these games, and Medlin coming in, I definitely need to spend more time on. Let me get to my notes here. Astros, here we go. Yeah, so with Garrett Cole pitching, it's going to be difficult to find value. What were you leaning? Where were you?
Well, I was going to think, I'm looking at Bet365 right now. The team total is 4.5 minus 145 on the over, and I will throw on that one just to start. Houston team total over 4.5 minus 145. I'll make that a pick. It's entirely possible that Medlin will come in and be better, or that Houston, hits them a bit, and then the bullpen comes in and shuts them down, and they get only 4 runs. But for now, I'll throw on the Houston team total over 4.5 minus 145. That's the line at Bet365.
Yeah, I'm going to need to spend more time before I grab a minus 145. Mark Lewis dissing our baseball records. They're not great.
Oh,
man.
shit. Here you go. Mark Lewis. What's
great.
up, baby? Cash me outside? How about that? Cash me outside, Mark Lewis. How about that? I want to take this
They're
outside.
not
I'm going to
great.
take that outside, Mark Lewis.
They're not great, man. They're not
What's
great.
up, Mark Lewis? What's up?
Give it to him.
Yeah, you going to respond? He can't talk back to us.
No, he can. He can right here.
He can. Catch me outside. How about that? Catch me outside. How about that?
Yeah, they're not great, but I mean, what are we in NHL up 60 units?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
units.
no, listen, Mark Lewis, who is not a regular viewer of the show, knows I do better in the second halves of all sports every season, and I also do better with my second half picks, with my second tier picks, which I just can't wrap my head around to give because I'm risk averse when it comes to these public plays, and absolutely you're right. I need to be less risk averse. Mark Lewis, I do expect to be profitable in MLB this year. Last year, the exact same thing happened to me. I was down at the All-Star break. Then I went on a huge epic second half run and wound up positive 2% ROI overall on the year, which is fine for me. But listen, one of the things about this show, we're honest. We put the records up there, and if someone like Mark Lewis wants to take a look at that record and say, "Man, you guys suck," he certainly is welcome to do that.
Yeah, man.
Right?
We don't block any haters. Haters can hate, man. I'm up 0.8 units after a couple hundred bets. It's disappointing. There was a second there 3 weeks ago when I was up 17 units in MLB and I came crashing down to earth. But I do expect to succeed. I'm not in negative units in any sport. Only college basketball was the only sport I've been in negative units on this show. So
listen, Mark Lewis. I mean, you suck at picking winners. That's your opinion. But I mean, if you want to quote our records and you quote them accurately, that is what you are welcome to do in this show. That's what you are welcome to do in this show. All right, let's see. Mally Mal hit the Nashville first period on the first period under end pit puck line. Very, very nice. Mally Mal. All right, so yes, a lot of people are saying that Big El Corleone saying no Derby talk today. I don't know, probably, but we had a ton of Derby talk yesterday, Big El Corleone. We probably will in the afternoon show as well. Let me see. What else do we have here going on here? We
will definitely do some more Derby talk in the afternoon show.
Tom Reno says Cole's obviously a strikeout pitcher. He should do well in Arizona. Houston hasn't seen Medlin, but I think they hit him here. Yeah. I mean, the problem is just that let me see. The problem is just that I don't know if I want to take Houston on this huge line, but I have given the team total over, so we'll see how that goes. Jim, what do you like here?
There are some plays that I know I will be making,
Okay.
and I haven't bet any plays yet. But there are some plays, so let me get to them. First off, I am taking the Cincinnati Reds this afternoon at home. God, where are my goddamn notes?
Okay.
Here we go. Yes, I am going to trust Sal Romano. I do think these young pitchers on the Reds in the Reds rotation will improve. Improve is probably the right word to use. And the Reds are hitting lefties, 252 with a 727 OPS, much better than they're hitting righties. And Wai-Yin Chen had one good start. He's barely pitched in the last few years. Game time temp 76 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out to right center at 11 miles an hour. Reds have lost 3 straight and 6 of 8. Reds have only won 1 of their 9 multi-game series to date. They split another, lost 7. Marlins have won 6 of 8. Chen missed nearly a full season with a ligament injury in his pitching arm. He did not undergo Tommy John surgery. And Chen's lone start of the season at home, he looked good. He looked fine. 5 1/3, 4 hits, 1 earned run, 3 Ks, 2 walks. Cincinnati starters have been terrible, barely getting 5 innings in, own a 5.50 ERA. But Romano is looking a little better. He threw 80 of his 89 pitches as fastballs, which I don't really like. Gave up 3 runs in 4 2/3 and a 3-1 loss to the Twins on Saturday. He's had success against the Marlins, limiting them to 1 run in 9 2/3 in 2 career starts. I just think that the Reds here at home and getting Wai-Yin Chen out on the road, I think is a nice spot. I'm getting a fine number. And my man Wolverines is taking the first 5 in Cincinnati and says Miami bullpen's been solid. You're right. Miami's bullpen's been solid. But and Yellow Jesus, who spreads love, says Reds Marlin first inning score, yes.
Okay, not applicable, says I agree with the Reds. Maxwell Smart 420. I'm against the Reds. Okay, so there's 2 opinions going the opposite directions of each other. All right, so we can give you minus 114 on the money line here for Cincinnati, and you want that, right, Jim?
I do.
Mally Mal says Houston has been slumping, but I like the over. Torino says I think Houston bounces back from the Yankees series. They played the Yankees at the wrong time. Big line, though. Yeah, all right. So I'm just going to take the team total over, and I might throw on the first 5 innings team total over on that one as well to double up. What else are you liking, Jim?
Okay. My next
and actually, you know what? I will throw that one on there. I'll throw on the first 5 innings team total over. It's just 2.5 minus 113, and that is at Pinnacle. 2.5 minus 113. So I'm doubling up on the Houston team total tonight just to start.
I'm on the under in the Dodgers Padres in Monterrey, Mexico. It's 325 to left, 325 to right, 405 feet to center. This game is especially exciting for Mexican native Christian Villanueva. Other than Villanueva, there's nobody on this Padres team that's really hitting. Except, Hosmer will step up at some point.
One quick note. I'm actually seeing minus 110 in the first 5 innings at Heritage, so I'm going to grab that one. First 5 innings, minus 110 over 2.5 for Houston. Okay, carry on, Jim. Go.
Game time temp 77, wind blowing sideways softly. Buehler rated the number 1 pitching prospect in the Dodger system. Luke Casey, number 7 pitching prospect in the Padres system. But Luke Casey's been excellent. Very impressed with him so far. And with Buehler, he did not look good last year, but he's a young guy coming up. Buehler, 1.80 ERA, 1.40 whip through 10 innings, 11 Ks, 4 walks. Luke Casey, 2.78 ERA, 1.11 whip through 32 1/3, 35 Ks, 10 walks. I really think this is going to be an impressive showing by these young pitchers. Luke Casey's the only San Diego pitcher with a winning record. His ERA is the lowest among Padres starters. Dodgers can't hit lefties. 226, 653 OPS through 349 at bats for lefties. And Padres can't hit anybody. 229 average, 669 OPS. So I'm on the full game under.
Okay, the full game under. Let me find the best line there. Sorry, 1 second. Okay, so you're going to take the San Diego under. Yeah, this is a game that I'm definitely going to pass on. It is being played in Mexico for people who might not be aware of that. Where is it? Okay, let's see. Lucchese. Okay, we can give you 8 minus 116 under 8 minus 116. That's at Pinnacle.
And I will take it.
Okay, what else are you liking, Jim?
I am also going to back Mengden. Am I pronouncing that right? Is
I think
Mengden?
so. Yeah.
Mengden. I'm going to take Mengden and his stash and the A's. I just think it's fading the Orioles is the right thing to do. I'm also going to take the A's on the run line here. I know Mengden got lit up last start. He'd allowed only 2 runs in his previous 2 starts. I know why he got roughed up last start. He was pitching in his hometown, and Houston's got a great offense, and he probably had 100 friends and family out, and he's a young guy, and he just got lit up. But the A's rating 256 with a 765 OPS. I don't usually like trusting offenses when they've had to jump on an airplane. But, Seattle to Oakland isn't too far. Game time temp 61 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out over right center. We know that will help the A's more than it will help the light-hitting Orioles, who are now last in Major League Baseball, 224, 662 OPS. Mengden, even though he got lit up for 4 earned runs, 5 runs total in 2 1/3, still has a 4.68 ERA, 1.26 whip through 32 2/3, 24 Ks, 4 walks. And Cashner's a bum. Orioles are shitty. Orioles have lost 15 of 18. Cashner has a 4.76 ERA, 1.47 whip. Impressive K total for him, 32 Ks in 34 innings, but 16 walks, and he's allowed 7 home runs in 34 innings. That's atrocious. He is on a personal 3-game losing streak, during which he's given up 13 earned runs in 16 innings. I'm on the Mariners, getting a nice juicy plus line on the run line.
You mean Oakland, right?
Yes.
Yeah, okay, Oakland. So let's see. The best line here would be at bet 365 plus 130. So you're going to take Oakland run line plus 130. Yeah, I mean, Cashner, obviously, like I've said, Cashner started to throw a sinker ball a lot more. High volatility with sinker ballers when their sinkers are off. They're basically throwing batting practice, home run pitches. And that appears to be what has been happening with Cashner recently. I'm going to look into it maybe a little bit more to see if he's likely to bounce back or not. But yeah, you're right. He might be done, and he might be in auto fade mode right now, and Oakland on the team total over.
That's what they're saying here. My man Baseball Bob says fade those Orioles. Elio Rodriguez said fade Orioles. Kobe Valentine says Cashner on the road is pathetic. 9-20 on the road past 3 seasons. Cashner fade.
Yeah.
Mal says O's giving away free money.
Yeah, it does. It does seem like that is the sort of no-brainer thing to do here, and this might qualify as low-hanging fruit. What else are you liking, Jim?
Okay, well, those are the 3 plays I know I'm making. The other play I know I'm making, which I'll just say right now because we can quickly write it in, is I am taking, and I made this bet this morning with $300, I am taking the Yankees to win the division.
Okay.
At minus 105.
Okay.
At 365.
Yanks division minus 105. Okay, we got that one for you, Jim. Yes?
Yes, and then I've looked into all the other games. Need to do some more work on all of them, but ready to break down anyone. Those are the 3 plays I knew I wanted to make coming into the show. And but why don't we break down the exciting ones right off the top? Okay. Indians, Yankees, Tomlin, Sabathia. The total has just gone up and up and up, and I don't feel comfortable backing the Yankees offense, even though they're incredible and they're going up against Tomlin, who's looked awful, just because they're flying all the way back home, and it's just not a situation that I like. But winds blowing out to left center, 15 miles per hour. New York's won 6 of 7 on that road trip. They looked awesome. I mean, beating the Angels and Astros like that in their own parks is very impressive. They've won 12 of 13 games in the last 2 weeks and starting out 9-9. During the last 13 games, the Yankees have outscored opponents 79-25. They're batting .251 overall, but .314 with runners in scoring position while posting 1.69 ERA. Cleveland just went 4-6 on that 10-game homestand. Should have done better against the Mariners, Rangers, and Blue Jays. But they've scored 36 runs in their last 3 games. I can understand why everyone's on the over. I had team total overs for both games yesterday.
Yes, very nice, Jim. Low-hanging fruit.
Tomlin's been lit up this year. He's looked awful. 9.16 ERA, 1.93 whip. He's allowed 10 home runs in 18 2/3. That's just awful. 3-3 with a 5.79 ERA in 8 appearances against the Yankees. Sabathia looked incredible. 1.71 ERA, 0.95 whip. Since August 19th of last year, 7-0 with a 2.48 ERA in 13 starts. Sabathia pitched great last Sunday, 2-1 win against the Angels in Los Angeles. 3.65 ERA, 11 career starts versus Cleveland. Indians are improving their bats. They were hitting lefties okay, 249, 731 OPS. Yankees are hitting everything, 252, 784 OPS. But I just don't feel like it's that easy. And I'm not just going to jump blindly on the over. Mark Lathrop says I'm on Yankees team total over 5.5. That's not bad. That's not bad for a team total over. That's not too high. Indians off of a doubleheader. Bullpen wax. Miller on the DL. I get it. I get it. It screams at you. It screams at you, right, to make the play.
Sure. Justin Searcy, everyone's on the Yankees here. Justin Searcy, Yankees score a lot of runs. Elio Rodriguez take the Yankees again. Marcus Colon says Yankees win. Scotty Rock Forever says Yankees blow Tomlin out. Book that shit. Yeah, a lot of people are saying that they're liking the Yankees. I'm going to pass on that game for now, but you might all be right, and Mark Lathrop's opinion certainly weighs very heavily in our minds.
Absolutely, absolutely. Great to have Mark with us.
Okay. People are asking about Bartolo Colon, who is starting today. He is definitely off the fade list, and Kobe Valentine, who follows these pitchers very carefully, says, watch Colon. He is throwing strikes, and those strikes have so much movement on his pitches. As a pitcher, I know the most important thing for success is to throw strikes with movement. Kobe Valentine, that sentence overall reads as high on Colon. And Chef Big Hat says Colon has not been bad so far. Yeah, it's an interesting game. I'm certainly not going to fade Colon here. What's your take on that game, if anything?
You know, sorry, we're on the Bartolo Colon game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Sorry, I was just looking over. Wolverine says, "Give me the under 10.5 at even money."
Mm-hmm.
And that we're still about that Yankees game. And then Jesse the Shark says, so I'm going to put 100 on the New York Cleveland game under. It seems like everybody is on the over at this point, and Triple Beans leaning Cleveland when you're getting plus 177. Very interesting spot. Now let me get to my Bartolo.
Porcello against Colon. If Colon's going to have a good game, maybe this is a chance to take a shot with an under.
Both these pitchers are playing excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent. Dan Kelly coming in with some stats. Since 1997, Colon is 9-11 when starting against Boston with an ERA of 4.02, a WHIP of 1.461. His team's record is 15-16, minus 3.2 units in these starts. Over is 12-19, minus 9.0 units. Very interesting. Both these pitchers being great. I'm very, very thankful and proud of Porcello, the way he's pitched this year. I love when guys, and we've talked about him on this show.
Mm-hmm.
Love when guys step up after a terrible season. 2.23 ERA, 0.84 WHIP, and Colon's looked incredible. I mean, who would have thunk he would look this good? 2.87 ERA, 0.86 WHIP. Looking great. Only 3 walks on the season. Feels like he's very much in control. Red Sox are hitting 271 with a 790 OPS. The Rangers are starting to hit 239 with a 710 OPS. This is another spot I'm going to need to take more time on. Alex Vishneski says Colon is a monster. Yeah, let's see what else. Not applicable likes that is leaning under with New York City, Cleveland. Ilio says, I'm not home, but what are Colon's numbers in May? Colon's just been excellent. He's just been excellent this year. There's no getting around it. Baseball Bob says, Big Sexy's getting it done.
And most importantly, someone like Kobe Valentine, who understands mechanics and pitching, says there's a reason for his success. Throwing strikes with movement, says that is indicative of likely continued success, at least in the short term, for Bartolo Colon. Maybe Texas is worth another shot here as a big underdog, and maybe the under is worth a play then.
Yes. And what is the line we get on it?
Well, Texas in the plus 160s.
No, on the under.
The total will be 9.
9. That's interesting. I'm going to need to spend some more time on this for sure. Okay. But before I do, let me mention that Walla Dose says, loving that collared shirt with the rolled up sleeves, Pete.
Oh, nice.
Walla Dose.
Today. Shout out to Walla Dose. Thank you very much. Jose Ruiz says, Seattle, baby, today going against them with the Angels. All right, I guess we can move to that one. It's Leak against Richards. Leak is, pretty hittable. Richards in general, pretty good. What's your take on Richards right here? And are the Angels maybe a good play now as a road favorite here?
I was high on Richards, and he got completely lit up last start. It was ugly. So I expect Richards to bounce back. He's a character guy. I don't like that his strikeout rate is so high and his walk rate is so high. I have him in the baseball pool, and I'm a little concerned at how he's looked lately. Although in those first couple starts, I was like, oh, he's going to get hot, but it doesn't look like it. Now, Leak has a 6.48 ERA, 1.53 WHIP, but he always seems to pitch well in his home park, always seems to in Seattle, which is a great pitcher's park. I still don't know what to do on this game. I'm going to take a little bit more time here. Angels and Mariners are both hitting very well. Angels 253 with a 743 OPS, 256 with a 755 OPS for the Mariners. Alex Vishneski says Angels all day, best road team in Major League Baseball. And my man, Jemiah James coming in. Great to have you, man. Says, what's good, Jimmy? Richards bounces back. I think so, too, but it's just Leak just pitches well at home. Dan Kelly says Leak is 2-0 when starting against Angels with an ERA of 1.93 and a WHIP of 0.929. Team's record 2-0 with plus 2.1 units in those starts.
Yeah, Leak is a tricky guy. He seems like at times he may be a borderline, auto fade list candidate in the future, and then all of a sudden strings together impressive starts after impressive starts. Not necessarily, just kind of out of nowhere. So I agree with you. Let's see. Jesse the Shark says, I've noticed a trend that just when we think Cologne is great, he shits the bed. I got Boston tonight. Okay, and if you do take Boston, then you got him on a big favorite line because it's a huge road favorite line there, Jim. We want to talk about the Atlanta game. Obviously, we are very impressed with Atlanta in general. Now they're going to be at home with Fultonavich, who's been pitching, very well. Going up against San Francisco and Stratton, though, right? San Francisco has been kind of surprisingly better recently, although I believe that, what's the guy's name? The outfielder, the stud.
On the Braves?
No, on San Francisco. McCutchen, I think, might be out tonight.
Yes, it sounds like he'll be out for a bit.
So what do you think? You think Atlanta's worth a play here?
This is another game I'm going to need a little bit more time on, but let's break it down here. A couple notes here from the chat, just quickly on our last game. It seems like people are on opposite sides here. Jose Ruiz says, Angels are monsters on the road. Don't be afraid. Thank me tomorrow. And then Trey Corey right underneath says, Angels have to regress soon. Tomor says, Richards and Leak are both hard to predict. I have a slight lean to Seattle, the plus price. Plus, Seattle's bullpen has struggled recently. And Native Queen saying, L.A. Angels score first
on the road,
and that's 12-1 on the road. Jose Ruiz says, good call on Atlanta. What do you think about them tonight staying hot? Baseball Bob says, stay on the Atlanta train. And Jesse Shark saying, what the fuck with the Raptors? I know, Jesse. It's very, very sad what is happening, and all the fans just shitting all over them, and they deserve to be shat on. Okay, let me get to my notes on this game. Yes, Stratton, 3.90 ERA, 1.21 whip. He's somebody I kind of think is overvalued after he had a nice start to the season. And, I know he's a first-round pick, but I see him as an easier guy to get hits off of. He already has 14 walks and 32 in the third. So he hasn't been giving up many hits if he's got a 1.21 whip. Fultonavich looked great this year. I like him. Again, another guy who's walking. They're both walking too many batters. The Braves are just rolling, man. Acuna looks like an absolute monster. Albies already is a monster. I mean, this team has an enormously bright future. They're just winning ball games. 8-4 at home, 19-11 overall. Let's see what Tomor has to say. He says, I think Atlanta has some young players that teams haven't figured out how to pitch to yet. And that's a very interesting point. Yes. It looks like Albies, especially Acuna, no one knows what to do with him yet.
Yeah.
Tomor says, I'd lean Atlanta even at that price. Giants lineup just isn't good. Fultonavich has been solid at home.
Host of Tucker says, yes, Atlanta gets it done tonight. Acuna home debut. Bautista debut. Volti has been solid. Tomrino, yes. Yeah, right. Good point. Tomrino, Tomor. So, and then Wolverine says, yes, Atlanta, book it. What do you think, Atlanta? Should we take a shot?
This is another game that I need more time on. I definitely need more time on. So, no, but yes, just looking at it and thinking simply, yes, Fultonavich looks great at home. The Braves are playing great baseball. What would we get on? And Brandon Cummings says, Braves, Braves, Braves. What would we get on the Braves?
Minus 140, minus 142 on the money line, and the run line would be plus 148, 150.
Now that sounds pretty nice, and Scotty Rock is on that. Braves run line all day. And Scotty Rock says Stratton been getting rocked. Don Regis says Braves are aggressive. They swing first pitch a lot. Scotty Rock says Braves will own Stratton. My man Dave Huang says Jimmy, love Braves.
All right, I'll take him. I'll take him on the -1 line. The money line part, minus 142 at the Greek, and the run line part, plus 150. So a tiny underdog line there for Atlanta, -1. I'll throw that one on there. What the hell?
And Searcy makes an excellent point. When you hear Scotty Rock fading his hometown Giants, nobody knows that team better than him. And but Yellow Jesus coming in saying Giants own them. I'm going to need more time with this game.
Okay. Wow. Yellow Jesus likes the Giants. Yeah. I mean, the Giants have been good. And Stratton has been getting hit recently, but definitely has some nice upside. Andrew says Braves just came back from a 10-day road trip. Giants all day. Okay. Alex says everyone on Atlanta. I'm on San Francisco.
Who said that?
Alex. Alex says everyone on San Francisco.
Lathrop says, look at Giants' individual records against Fulte before taking the Braves, gents.
Yeah. You know what? I'm going to hold off on that one as an official pick. I'm going to think about it a little bit more. Again, we do this all over again at 6 o'clock Eastern time. We review line movements, get more information, and Jim and I, of course, have opportunities to throw in as many other picks as we want at 6 o'clock. So I'm going to hold off on Atlanta for one. You're absolutely right. The Giants are a pretty impressive team right now, and they're getting a pretty nice underdog line there. All right. What else do you want to discuss, Jim?
Let's see. I would like to discuss this Phillies at Nationals. I know my man here was asking if we would break that game down. My man PRC Publicist, remember, I think he's in Toronto right now, but representing Haiti.
Okay.
Says, please tell me the Nationals will win.
I mean, it feels like this game has Nationals written all over it. Obviously, the Nashville train is rolling right now, and Philly has been slumping a little bit. Gonzalez off a high pitch count, which makes me a little bit nervous. Pivetta, has been getting hit a little bit, but he's, a guy who can, who I think is serviceable. So this feels like one of those trap games, maybe a little bit, where it feels like it's got Washington written all over it, and the line has definitely moved in Philly's favor. It opened at about plus 130, now down into the plus 110s. So yeah, obviously at first glance, I'd be thinking Washington here, but maybe that's the wrong way to be looking at this.
So funny. Let's break this game down. But Mark Lewis says, the bag, you always need time. Stop guessing. Don't you understand what needing more time to break down? It's so that you're not guessing, you fucking idiot. If I was guessing, I would be giving out plays on these games, you fucking idiot.
Right.
Pivetta versus Gonzalez, game time temp 88 Fahrenheit, wind blowing out to right center at 16 miles per hour. Gonzalez threw 7 innings of 1-run ball. I liked what Gonzalez said to Davey Martinez being angry 2 starts ago that he was taken out early and that he wanted to rest these arms in the bullpen, and then by pitching longer, they allowed Doolittle to have a 5-out save recently. So that Sunday start was great. He helped the Nationals salvage that final game of the series against Arizona, and the Nationals haven't lost since. They go in, they sweep the Pirates in 4-game series. Philadelphia was off Thursday after they averted a sweep barely, but they beat the Marlins 6-0. Phillies relievers have been excellent. Their bullpen is very good. I'm curious to see the changes in your bullpen stats. 3.08 ERA and 8-4 record. Pivetta 3.27 ERA, 1.12 WHIP through 33 innings, 34 Ks, 7 walks. Pivetta had a 1.88 ERA in his previous 4 starts, and then struggled out against the Braves. And the Braves are a hot hitting team, so that will happen. 6 hits, walked 3 in 5 innings. Against the Nationals, he's had a tough time, a 7.45 ERA in 2 starts. Gonzalez is a character guy. I think we're going to get value fading him at times this year, but I like the way he stepped up. His whip is still very high, 1.43, but he's got a 2.67 ERA through 33 2/3. Gonzalez 10-7 with a 2.69 ERA in 23 starts versus the Phillies. Phillies are hitting 226 with a 695 OPS through 217 at-bats versus lefties, having a tough time against lefties. And the Nationals are starting to hit. Even though Harper didn't hit yesterday, they are starting to hit. I don't have a play on this game at this point, and I'm curious to see what people say.
Yeah, let's see. Not applicable says lean Nationals. And Elio Rodriguez says Philly is my lean. Tomarino Tomor says I'm on the Nats. I think they have momentum. Turner and Zimmerman are hitting now. Philadelphia just hasn't been consistent on the road. Tomarino says Pivetta is capable, but off a bad start. That's what makes me a little bit nervous. He might be a little bit better than expected. And, Gonzalez also up and down. Gonzalez off a good start. He is off a high pitch count. He might come here and be a little bit off as well. Trey Corey says Nats is a trap. Yes, and Trey Corey says Pivetta is a low-key stud. I've been riding him all year.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yes, Pivetta is a low-key stud. That might be an interesting point.
Kobe Valentine says, who is this Mark Lewis lunatic? Kobe Valentine. Damned if I know. It's just some friggin' dude from the internet. I have no clue. I think he's kind of funny, but he's definitely a little bit loony, if you know what I'm talking about. I don't know. Kobe Valentine, no clue. It's funny, though. It's pretty funny.
Jose Ruiz said it's not a trap. Nationals roll. They're hot. They played better and tougher teams. You guys know that yesterday I put on the Nationals to win the division at plus 130, thanks to our friend Tomarino Tomor. And that wasn't even a play that I had. I wasn't even thinking about. I really think Tomor's put money in my pocket with that and the Cubs to win the division. I'm very thankful for it.
Kobe Valentine says almost 80% of bets on Washington, yet the line has moved 20 points in the other direction, obviously. Fade the public. Gio is also 4-3 against Philly past 3 seasons. Yes, this line, this game appears to have Washington written all over it, but then it feels like a little trappy, and then the line movement makes me feel like it's a little bit even more trappy. And Kobe Valentine pointing out reverse line movement that would support that as well.
Yeah, Tomar says Pivetta's been good, but it's mostly been at home against weak lineups.
There you go. Yes. Interesting stuff. Elio Rodriguez says, where's Native? Native Queen has been here, and I don't know if she made any picks, but she pointed out that...
She did. I think she was... she just pointed out. You're right.
She pointed out that the Angels have been great scoring first on the road, and I think she might have been indicating that she likes that one again, but she also tends to be careful and take her time with her picks. She tends to, in a day like this where all the games are at nighttime, she tends to come in with her picks in the evening show.
Yes, which
is smart.
Yeah, it makes sense. And just gathering information. Captain Susana says Phillies are 9-1 in Pavetta's last 10 starts. Phillies are 4-1 in Pavetta's last 5 road starts. Phillies are 15-4 in their last 19 games versus a left-handed starter.
Let's see.
But Mark made man national solo over today.
And there you go. Native Queen says, at Brian Watson, we'll have them at 6. Yes, see, Native Queen, smart as hell. And Mark Lewis asking why people need time. Native Queen, maybe the best handicapper in all of chat, needs as much time because she uses all that time very valuably. You know what I mean? There's a purpose behind the madness or the success or whatever you want to call it. All right, Jim, what else do you want to talk about here?
Well, we got some interesting games.
We do want to get to the NBA and NHL and the Twitter segment. So I don't know if we can break down every game in depth in this show. We can in the 6 o'clock show.
Yes, absolutely. I know my man Ziggy Balls mentioned to me earlier this morning that he likes Jose Barrios a lot tonight with the Twins at White Sox. I've been impressed with Fulmer, but 18 Ks, 13 walks, and 25 innings is not going to cut it. But I still think he's an improving young pitcher. Barrios, 3.63 ERA, 0.92 WHIP. He's already had highs and lows. I mean, pitching in front of his hometown, in hometown fans and family in Puerto Rico. And I don't know exactly what to do with this game yet. In another game that looks like if we had this situation last year with the Tigers-Royals, Liriano versus Kennedy, I mean, we'd be jumping all over the over. But Liriano and Kennedy have both pitched better this year. Liriano's pitched way better than I thought he was going to pitch this year. I'm with the $6 million one-year contract, I was shocked. We in Toronto, we're so happy we got Teoscar Hernandez out of Liriano, which we think they were totally overplaying. 3.38 ERA, 1.16 WHIP through 29 and a third. I just can't see him keeping this up. His walk rate's already getting higher. I just can't.
Who, Liriano?
Liriano.
Yeah, I was leaning Casey here, and I will make this one a pick. This was a borderline play for me, but I'll make it. I'll just take Casey on the money line, minus 121. Simple play there. Of course, Cabrera is out for Detroit. You know that, right?
Yes.
And Casey playing a little bit better. 2 bad teams here. 2 pitchers that are a little bit questionable here, and I'll take Casey minus 121. That's the line at the Greek right now.
Yeah, I think that might be a nice play. I'm happy to hear it. I'm going to do more work on that game and come back in the afternoon show. Mark Made Man says Royals sweep Tigers. I was all over the Royals yesterday.
Yep, and I'm taking them tonight. The Mets game is interesting. What else do you want to talk about, Jim? We don't want to get into every game because we do want to move on, and maybe we can come back if we have a little time at the end, which I don't think we will. But anything else you want to discuss?
No, I've got plays ready in the other sports. I'm ready to rock.
Okay, all right. So, all right, okay. Just some funny comments coming in. King Rail's pretty funny dude.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to one with him in Vegas.
Kind of a witty
man.
guy there. All right, once again, Jim is taking Cincinnati money line minus 114. The San Diego game being played in Mexico under 8. He took Yankees to win the division at minus 105 and Oakland run line plus 130. I'm on the Houston first 5 innings team total over 2.5 and the full game team total over 4.5. And I'm also on KC money line minus 121. We'll break all this down a lot more in depth in the 6 o'clock show as well, and we'll check some line moves, get a lot of great, of course, handicapping insights as we already have, and as we do every day from our regular handicappers. Now let's move on to the Twitter segment, a new segment that we're doing in this show where we answer tweets live on tape, answering tweets live, and apparently we do have a tweet that came in. Johan, you want to hit us up with that tweet, baby? And Jim and I will do our best to answer it as efficiently and effectively as we can. Jim, can you read that? I can't read that shit. Can you read that shit? I can't read that shit.
Okay, let me wait till it pops up on the screen because the screen's a little bit.
We're going to wait till it pops up on that screen and then we can read that shit. This is not I do not have age-related sight decline or anything like that. I just got that freaking smile surgery. Totally.
Here we go.
Here we go. Okay.
Do we bet the run line just to get value or because we expect a blowout?
Okay, and shout out the name of
Shout out my man James Stacy, man. I love the guy. I love capping with him.
I can answer that one.
Please do.
Anytime you are betting a run line, whether you're taking a positive run line, positive 1.5 or negative 1.5, it's the same thing as buying or selling points as you can do in any sport. And what you are always betting into when you're doing that is volatility. If you are expecting higher than normal volatility, the lines are priced on a certain way, assuming a certain amount of overall volatility in a sport. If you're expecting higher than normal volatility, then you want to take underdog lines. You want to be buying runs. If you're expecting lower than normal volatility, then you want to take as big favorite lines as you can, and you want to be selling runs. So when you're taking, so what was the original question?
Are we taking do we bet the run line just to get value?
Right. So what you should be doing when you are betting the run line is the only thing really you should be considering is betting into volatility. Yes, you're expecting to get more value if you're taking the run line, and the reason you're expecting more value is because you are making a handicapping decision, saying that in your opinion the volatility in this game is going to be higher than the market would normally be assuming for this game. And so what you're saying is if this team wins, they're more likely than the market is giving you credit for that they win by more than one run, and that's why you want to be betting the run line, because you're buying that extra run and a half, and you think you're getting more value for it than the market is charging you for to do that.
I think that's a great answer.
Yes, and the opposite goes for the opposite direction as well. If you're taking teasers, you're selling runs, or if you want to take a plus one and a half puck line or a plus 1.5 run line, you're doing the opposite. You're expecting a low volatility. You're saying that if one team, that the game is likely to be closer than not, and that runs are going to be at a premium, and so that if you're selling runs, that you're getting paid more than you actually should be getting paid for it. So if you're selling runs, doing the opposite direction, you're basically handicapping low volatility, and you think that you're getting value because of that reason. Does that make sense?
It does. Elio Rodriguez says, well said, Professor. Can't explain it any better.
That's basically it. And so to use more plain English, yeah, you're basically saying when you're taking a run line, you're saying if this team does win, they're very likely to win by more than one run. And since the market's going to give me extra value for betting that way, I'm going to do it because I think that they're very likely to win by more than one run if they do win. Was that clear?
Yeah.
All right. How was that? SBR ownership, SBR brass, SBR hires up, SBR media executives, Johan behind the controls. I thought that was a pretty well answered tweet, right? And thank you so much, James Stacy, for that tweet. Once again, if you want your tweets answered live on tape, tweet at SBR Sportspicks. Use the hashtag GetThatCash, and if it gets selected by the social media people, we will answer them live on tape as we just did. Right, Jim?
Absolutely.
All right.
Please,
okay.
Yeah, please tweet at us.
All right. Now let's move on. Let's move on to what should we do? NBA or NHL first? What would you prefer?
I would prefer NBA because I tweeted out and locked in my plays earlier this morning.
All right. Let's jump into NBA. Tell us what you tweeted out, Jim.
I tweeted out the under in the Warriors Pelicans under 232.5. I was thinking that I might beat the line movement. It turns out that I really haven't. There are still books giving 232.5, so there are still people thinking that this could be an enormously high scoring game, and I think it will be a little lower scoring. Pelicans have won 12 of their last 17 games at home. They were down by just 1 point midway through the fourth quarter. Somehow the Pelicans outscored Golden State 66-38 in the paint, but can't get to the free throw line. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Davis and Holiday never attempted a free throw. The first time that's happened since they began playing with each other 5 years ago. In the first two games, Golden State had a 59-20 edge in free throw attempts. Curry came off the bench and looked awesome. He'll be in the starting lineup. He was a plus 27 in game 2 while on the court for the Warriors. No other teammate was better than plus 7. I mean, he was awesome. He's just ready to play. But in saying all that, I don't think this goes as high scoring as last game, 121-116. I think and Rich Banks says 232, way too high. So yeah, no, I'm on the under 232.5. I got it at minus 108. And people asking horse questions. If we could just wait a little bit longer and then we can hammer these horse questions right when but Khalif Lee's on the Warriors line. Jose Ing's on the Rockets over. We'll get to that very quick. Underdog Stats had a nice 3-0 day yesterday. But I agree. I think the 232.5 is too high, and I'm on the under.
Okay, well, we'll give you 232.5 minus 102, which is the current line at Pinnacle. I was feeling the same way as well. Yesterday, I also was feeling that that both games on the over were probably a good bet, especially the Boston game, and they did both go over. I didn't give them as picks, though. I was thinking that this one would be a shot, maybe a shot with the under. I did take the under, though, in game 2. For regular viewers of the show will remember that was a horrible pick, and that one lost. But I'd be agreeing with you here, and I may yet join you on this one, Jim. Right now, we're going to give you 232.5 minus 102, and then
I got it in early. I got it worse than I got minus 108.
Oh, okay, all right. Not a big deal in the grand scheme of things. Minus 108. Now let's talk about Houston, Utah. Of course, this was a huge, shocking result in Game 2. Right? A lot of people thought that Utah was just cooked in Game 2. They were getting double digits, and that they would be a good bet against. I did my usual thing. We will probably have some tweets about team totals at some point in the future. And that Houston-Utah game was a classic example of how, you can cash on a team total even if your overall handicapping of the game was wrong. I also thought Utah didn't necessarily have a chance there, but my play was not on Houston. It was on the Houston first half team total over, which did cash even though they got blown out in the first half. Remember?
Yes.
So I took the Houston first half team total over in that one. Now here we are in game 3. I have to be thinking that Houston bounces back here, right, Jim? I mean, how do they not?
Yes. Well, no, how did they not? The Jazz are a very tough home team.
Yes.
But how does D'Antoni not come up with a plan with Donovan Mitchell at the point guard? We've seen Donovan Mitchell at his best.
Mm-hmm.
He was excellent, 11 assists. Jazz went 15 for 32 from three-point range. Inglis went 7 for 9. He's an assassin from the perimeter. Alex Burks, Crowder combined for 32 points, 14 boards. But D'Antoni has to come up with a game plan to slow down Mitchell at the point, and I'm sure he will. Chris Paul and Harden both struggled from the outside, 4 for 15 from three-point range. Houston shot just 10 for 37 from 3. So, yes, I locked in. This was a line I did beat. I locked in the Rockets at -4, -109 a few hours ago and tweeted it out and locked you down with it. Yes, I do think that the Jazz will be tough at home. And I don't think this is a slam dunk or anything like that. But I do think, and Dark Kent says Utah in 6. I mean, there's no reason. Utah has been great this year.
Yes.
But I just think that the Rockets shouldn't be too stressed and shouldn't have too much pressure. They know that they can step up at any time. So I'm pretty comfortable with the Rockets -4, but this isn't like a gift or someone just putting money in my pocket.
So you locked it in Houston -4, -109, right, Jim?
Did.
All right. I think Houston's got to come out early here. Even the Raptors, as horrifically bad as they were yesterday, still did cover the first quarter line, right? I think we got to see something roughly similar from Utah. I'm going to take first quarter and first half. The first half line here for for Houston will be -2, -111, -2, -111, and the first quarter line here for Houston will be -1, -114. That's at Pinnacle. I'm going to take Houston first quarter -1, first half -2, and Jim's on the full game -4.
And Mele Palis weighs on Houston full game and the over. Ciceron says Houston -4.5 is the play. Alex says Utah is like the Celtics, tough as hell at home. Mark Made Man says Utah will not make it out of this round. Let's not get carried away. Kobe says Utah matches up very well with an offensive-minded team. Utah's great D can shut this team down. It will be close, not applicable. Jazz. And then Underdog Status says Harden and Paul have to play defense and initiate offense at a high level. With Utah's length, give me the Jazz -4.5.
Yeah, Tom Marino says everyone thought Houston was the much better team. Houston played one bad game. I think they bounced back. I think so as well, right?
I do too, but Dan Kelly says, Pete and Jimmy, you guys have not been given enough to home court in these playoffs.
Yes.
Just like last night, everyone on Philly, I'm taking Utah money line tonight.
Okay. I'm just taking Houston early, though. And if you took Toronto early yesterday, although they were at home, you would have gotten that one. Let's see. Here you go. Mark the Man, ! Says, this is free money steal. Let's see what he has to say, shall we, Jim?
Sure.
This is free money steal from Mark the Man. Just like the Spurs against the Warriors game 2. That sounds like the first line of a nice rap there. Line was Golden State -4.5. Made no sense after they blew them out. Golden State still covered that game as well. Interesting. So Mark the Man likes Houston here.
Yes. Trey Corey says Houston never opens up games hot. Brian Watson likes the over here. Donald Trump joining us says, but I think I'm going to stay off anyways. Putting Exum on Harden and pressuring full court was a good move and worked out well, but I think Houston is going to adjust tonight. Houston has to adjust tonight. It has to. I just don't. If D'Antoni can't adjust to what Utah did impressively in game 2, he should not be coaching. Christopher Kelly says, Jimmy, this is it. Jazz money line. This is where Harden and Paul get blasted for being bad in the playoffs. Was on the Celtics again last night and Cavs again. These calls are easy peasy.
And people just, even though there's no Raptors-Cavs game tonight, people cannot stop talking about that game. The Cavs are just the most interesting team in the NBA, right? And the Raps are like a close second, right, Jim?
Oh God,
unbelievable.
King Rail says, I bet anyone $200 that Utah won't advance. Put your money where your mouth is. I like it.
And Dwayne Seymour says, y'all sound real stupid. Raps win both in Cleveland. Interesting.
No, I think he's saying.
He's saying
that
if you say that, right.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right. So, all right. So many comments coming in. Dark Kent says if it's a close game, Utah will win this. Chris Paul will have late turnovers. Harden will start to force shots. Mark Demand says Rockets have too many option scorers. Watch Houston spread the floor out and draw the big man out in the paint. Yeah, I just feel like this has Houston bounce back / adjustments early written all over it. So I'm taking Houston first quarter and first half. Not on the full game, though.
I hear that, and we have a taker. King Rail has a taker. Christopher Kelly.
Oh, shit.
Two guys that are accountable dudes. So Christopher Kelly says, I'll take that, King Rail.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe that's our first official bet from the Jatters, isn't it? I like it, man. I like it.
Trey Corey says Houston never opens up games hot. Okay, but if there is a game that they're going to do that, it's going to be here, right?
Yeah, I just think that I disagree. Now, obviously, I disagreed that the Raptors were – that LeBron just had the Raptors number and we were just going to lose to them and get swept. I was dry heaving.
Mm-hmm.
So I was wrong. But I don't think that Harden and Chris Paul are just guys who can't make it through the playoffs, can't succeed in big moments. I don't think that. Maybe I'll be wrong again. And but Tomor puts it nicely. Says, I love how Houston went from a team that could beat Golden State to losing to the Jazz because of one game. The 24-hour news cycle in full effect. DJ Big Boss says, never trust Houston. And never King Rail says, Houston. It's a bet, Chris. Chris Kelly and King Rail for 200 bones. I love it.
Antoine Seymour says, it's all love, man, just being real. That's one of the many reasons we love you, Antoine Seymour. Absolutely. Antoine Seymour does keep it real. And second reason we love Antoine Seymour is NBA player props that he sometimes posts. That's another reason why we love Antoine Seymour. Absolutely, Antoine Seymour. All right, what else do we, I guess that's it. For NBA, right? We covered both games. Jim's on the under in Golden State, New Orleans. Jim's on Houston full game. I'm on Houston first half and first quarter only. And I would vaguely be agreeing with Jim on his lean towards the under in the Golden State, New Orleans game. We move on, Jim?
Yes, I'm ready to move on. I'm comfortable with my spots.
Okay, sounds good. Now let's move on to NHL. Jimmy the Bag, why don't you start off with either game?
I'm on the Bruins puck line. I just don't think what happened in Game 3 will happen again. I really don't.
Yeah.
I really don't. Now, I'm not going to bet more than a unit on it. So I'm just going to make my regular $20 bet on this game. But I just don't think it will happen again. I'm on the Bruins puck line. Andre Palat is a gamer. He's tough. He's one of their toughest forwards, even though he's not got a ton of size. He's just a tough guy, He came out flying. Put the Lightning up 2-0 in the first 3 minutes, 19 seconds. But Boston has a ton of depth. And they're going to bring in Donato tonight. He's going to add some energy in the dressing room. People are going to be excited about it. He will come out with passion and intensity. They will get more from this lineup. Tuukka Rask has to step up. He's been good in this series. People are shitting all over. He's been fine. 2.72 goals against, 922 save percentage. But he needs the kind of shutdown performance that Rene delivered last night for the Predators. And he's more than capable of it. The Bruins were 28-8-5 at home, and I think they're going to take care of business tonight. I'm on the Bruins puck line. I believe in this team.
Okay, Bruins puck line right now, the best line plus 189. I will also be on Boston -1. The money line part of that -155. The puck line part of that plus 189. Are the Bruins okay? Do they have any maybe like under the radar health issues? I mean, I know Bergeron was banged up. I remember
Everybody's sort of banged up in this time of year. So there was people who missed practice, needed maintenance days. That's just the playoffs at this time of year.
Okay, good answer, Jim. Good answer, Jim.
I really think that. I truly think that.
Yeah,
I think
sure.
that there are some injuries, but nothing to the extent that.
Yeah.
Now Bergeron is the one guy I might be a little worried because
you think he's playing through something that is more serious than
like Marchand is, because Marchand also needed a maintenance day yesterday. DeBrusque needed a maintenance day yesterday, and Cassidy said that they're both hurting. But yeah.
Well, that's not good.
No, but everybody, it's no problem. Maintenance days are no problem this time of year. I really don't put too much into it.
Okay, well, Jim's going to take Boston puck line. I'm going to take Boston -1. Again, is this a lock? Absolutely not. Is the line a little bit high here for Boston? Yes, I think it is. But, again, my sense that one way or another, they pull out a win here, and I'm going to agree with Jim. Now let's move on to a San Jose and Vegas. I've had a pretty good read on this series in general. I think it's going to be tight. Vegas probably takes this one. I don't know if I want to take him here, though, at -145. And once again, I'd be leaning first period under. I did take that one in the last game. It was looking like it was going to cash until the second goal was scored with 6 seconds left in the first period. But I'd be leaning first period under as well in this one, even though Vegas, of course, has a ton of speed and could explode with 4 goals as they did in the first game of this series at home. Those are my thoughts as of right now. Leaning Vegas, leaning first period under. What do you have to say about it, Jim?
I have a lot to say about this game. And guys like Mark Lewis giving us shit for our baseball record. Why don't we throw up our fucking hockey
really?
record,
Is Mark Lewis still around?
Who gives a fuck? But
Hey, Mark Lewis, check this shit out. Let's throw up the NHL record.
So Mark doesn't know anything about gambling because he's going to look at my record, which is like 40 or 50 games under 500, and think I'm losing.
Yeah,
right?
well,
259 and 313 is going to be, look at that record. He's a losing capper. He doesn't see that you're up 26.3 units. Your average line is plus 127. You don't see that, Mark. I'm down. I'm 104 and 108 in baseball, but my average line is plus 103, which still puts me as a plus spot, Mark.
Yep. Mark
so
Lewis.
don't just look at the fucking wins and losses. Now, we might be just talking to a 13-year-old, so we shouldn't get too emotional about it.
Sure.
But it's not just wins and losses. It's where you get the fucking line.
If he is a 13-year-old, I'll still meet him outside. I don't care at all. I'll fuck up a 13-year-old. Let's go. Let's do this. Fuck. I don't give a shit about age. So Mark Lewis, if you want to give the opinion that Jimmy's NHL picks, even at up 26 units on the year, still suck, you can do that. But just quote the units right. Plus 26.5 units.
Sharks are coming in with momentum. Real serious momentum. They won the last meeting in Vegas. They've won 2 of the last 3 games in the series. They're an overtime loss in Game 3 away from leading the series 3-1. Now, the hottest guy we're running with, Brent Brooks, says Vegas puck line. And I think that's a real ballsy play. A real ballsy play. I can't make that play. I lean towards the Sharks. Martin Jones is coming in with a ton of confidence. 34 save shutout in Game 4. Now 6-2, 2.01 goals against average, 934 save percentage in the playoffs. Knights have been able to dig deep and handle adversity all season. And that's why the people believe in them. And I get it. That's why Brent Brooks believes in them, because all year they've dug deep and handled adversity. Are they able to do it here? I don't think that they are. And
Vegas? What adversity are they dealing with here?
No, just all year they've dealt with it. All year. It didn't matter what was thrown at them. They've dealt with it. Nothing's ever gotten them down. Now, Trey Corey says Knights gotten lucky all year. They can't. It's just they've done it for too long. These seasons are too long. They're a special group. But I don't think they win 2 of the next 3 hockey games. And I'm curious to see what you think of it. I don't think they win 2 of the next 3 hockey games. The Sharks have a ton of momentum coming in. Brent Brooks says, what about Fleury, Jim? I don't think Fleury was, and I said that before, I don't think that he was the type of goalie who's got a 1.23 goals against average, 960 save percentage. They put 4 goals on him. They're coming. I think he's going to come down to earth. He's not that dominant. He's just not that dominant. And Dark Kent says Jimmy's been hating on Vegas all year, and so does Searcy. And I get it. Tomar said, I think the Knights were flat in Game 4, not impressive at all. I think they bounced back here. You know what? Listen, I'm not taking the Sharks. I have a lean towards them. Khalif Lee wants to know what the line is on the Sharks, what we get with the big plus spot.
You mean the puck line for the Sharks?
No, just the money line.
The money line is, it's up there a little bit. The best line right now, line shopping here at SBR Odds, minus 145 at Pinnacle. Other places have 150, 147.
Mark Lewis says, Jim, if it win, I'll send you 100. What the fuck is it? The fuck is it, Mark?
No, just take it. He's gonna send you $100.
If it win, what the fuck is it?
The guy's 13 years old. He's gonna send you $100. That's like 3 weeks allowance for this guy. Come on, Jim. Thank you, Mark Lewis. I appreciate it. On behalf of Jim, I appreciate it, and we thank you. And please be a regular viewer. Thank you very much. Please.
I lean towards the Sharks. You guys, I just think they have a ton of momentum. Now I was leaning towards the Predators last night and didn't have the balls to bet them. I don't have the balls to bet the Sharks here. The Knights are a special group. They've handled adversity all year. They are capable of digging deep and handling adversity again. So I'm not going to take the Sharks here, but I have a lean towards them. And when Brent Brooks is on the Knights puck line, it's dangerous.
Yeah. I gotta think Vegas is the play here. Anything can happen. Vague lean to the under, vague lean to Vegas, vague lean to the first period under, but I'm not going to bet any of that, and I don't think I'm going to give any of that as a pick here. Could easily see San Jose winning. Could easily see another, 5-zip, 5-1 type win by Vegas, but my leans would be under. Lean would be Vegas on the money line, not the puck line, and a vague lean to the first period under as well.
Yeah, I get it. And what I'm sure it's heavily juiced that way. What is the line that we'd be getting? Or is it a 5? The total, are they only hanging 5s?
No, the under is 5.5 minus 115, 114.
Oh, wow. That's not... Yeah. Oh, wow. Seriously said, I don't trust the Sharks. I don't trust Jones at all. Interesting. Bobby Robinson says Vegas gets it done on home ice. Khalif Lee says Vegas is the play. My man Carlos Barrage says Vegas will win.
Mm-hmm. All right, so no pick for you, Jim?
No pick for me. No, and JK says Jones will get lit up tonight. Jones is very confident right now.
Mm-hmm.
Carlos Barrage says Vegas speed kills. And and Khalif Lee says Sharks plus 145, and I can't take that. I think that's a nice spot. Alex Vishnevsky's on the over. Tomor says, I think the Knights have been getting calls at home too. Mally Mal says Vegas blowout.
Mm-hmm.
And then Mark Made Man says, yes, the under. Vegas won't score more than 1 tonight.
Wow.
Non-applicable says San Jose could be up 3-1. They're so close to being up 3-1 in this series. And that doesn't seem to affect these guys. And I get it, man. I get it. Susana says Vegas is being helped all year long by the refs.
Yeah, and that might happen tonight as well, especially, and King Rail earlier was talking about how much the city is all about this. He said he got let off work early because his boss is planning a night's party. That city is pumped up for this team, and that might affect the refs tonight,
Yeah, I try not to let that get too.
I know, but you know what I'm saying. This is more than your average, just home arena excitement. The whole city is in a frenzy about this.
There's no question,
yeah.
And this is the right team to be in a frenzy over. They've been they're the sports story of the year.
Yeah. J. Peach says hate the under here. Okay, let's. I guess that's about it. Once again, Jim and I are both, as of right now, going to pass on San Jose, Vegas. Although we will be back at 6:00 Eastern time. There's a chance we'll put a pick on our official record. As of right now, it's going to be a pass. And Jim and I are both taking Boston. He's taking the puck line plus 189. I'm taking Boston -1. That's it for NHL. Anything else you want to add, Jim? People are asking for Derby talk, and we'll do a lot more of that in the 6:00 show, right?
Yeah, if we could make a little section for Derby
in.
talk. If anybody has any quick Derby question, we have a couple minutes. We could do it right now. I made my bets, and they're on the video, which is out now on SBR, but we don't want you to leave the show to check it out. But my bets are in, and basically...
Mark Lewis says, Jim, the shirt that you're wearing right now is a little bit too small, just like your bankroll.
He's throwing around $100, man.
Yeah, listen, Mark Lewis is Kobe Valentine says, who is this lunatic? We don't know. He just showed up, but I love him. Yes. People like Peter, you love Mark. Yes, I love him. Mark Lewis, if you're a millennial, please approve of me and please be a regular viewer and regular commenter. I love Mark Lewis, Jim.
I'm happy to hear that, man. Hey, we don't block the haters, man.
All right, so what are your bets on the Derby?
I have now. I'm gonna drop a one unit bet, so I'm gonna do $200 with my local. Just a straight justify to win. The reason why I'm doing that is because Bet365 is what my local uses, and all of Europe is betting on Mendelssohn. So Mendelssohn's down to 4-1 on Bet365. So I'm making that one bet. But I have $449. Available in my HPI bet account, so I'll be sending these out, on Saturday, because you can make them now, but the odds are going to change. I want to wait till the odds change. So let's do some quick looking at what you guys are on. I've got a 4 different triactor boxes. I got Justify to the field to Mendelssohn, Justify Mendelssohn field, Mendelssohn field Justify, Mendelssohn Justify field. Then I got a $4 exactor. Justify to the field and the field to Justify. Those each cost $76, and then I got straight exactors with the horses that I like the best. So let's bang out some of your questions here. Flame Away in a triactor, says Jansen Bonson. Flame Away is a battler. He just seems to battle. Second in the Bluegrass by 2.5. Now, we don't respect the Bluegrass really as a prep race, but second by a length in the Tampa Bay Derby. He's consistent, and he's going to be on the outside of Promises Fulfilled. So Promises Fulfilled's going to go right to the lead, and Flame Away will be right there beside him. The real reason why Audible, Good Magic, and Justify are really being loved by everyone right now is because the three... So we know there's a 20-horse field, so there's going to be all this banging, crashing. But a wonderful situation for Justify, the 7, Good Magic, the 6, and Audible, the 5, is that the 3 horses, 8, 9, 10, Lone Sailor, Hofburg, and My Boy Jack, are all horses that come from way back. So they're going to drop out. So they're not going to come and crush Justify, these guys. So basically the 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 are going to go right up to the lead, and they're going to not be banged into. So, and if there is any banging, it will be Justified banging into the left. So hopefully that won't happen. So seriously, that's why they're getting this much love. Now, if you ask whether or not, I like Flame Away better than Promises Fulfilled. And it's so difficult to gate to wire the Derby. Only one horse has done it, War Emblem, since 2000. So predictions guy says Good Magic. Now, there's a ton of cash on Good Magic. And that is because of a vividness bias. The 2-year-old champion almost never wins the Derby. Almost never. And the vividness, everybody saw Good Magic win that Breeders' Cup. He had a wonderful trip. I think that Bolt Doro can beat Good Magic in a race. And getting 12-1 on Good Magic means that you're still getting value. So I don't need to talk you off. His high buyer is 100. He'll like 10 furlongs. That's no problem. But his last race, the Bluegrass Stakes, he got a 95 buyer. If he runs that again, he'll be lucky to come 7th or 8th. He lost the Promises Fulfilled. Now, that was his first race back this year. But the story is he's looked great in the mornings. So a lot of people still think that, that you're getting a ton of value with him at 12-1. Alex Vishnevsky says, I hate Audible. I agree. I think that Audible is overvalued. And we were talking about overvalued horses. Mm-hmm. And the key reason is that we don't need to make that decision. Johnny Velasquez tells us that by not riding him and by riding Vino Rosso instead. Remember that Todd Pletcher and Johnny Velasquez, they won the Derby last year. Velasquez could have had any of Pletcher's horses, and he picked Vino Rosso. So we're not making that decision. The guy who's the actual expert, Johnny Velasquez, is telling us the Audible's overrated. Mm-hmm.
I'm just quickly going to try to pull up the matchup props here that are available at Bookmaker right now, in case anyone has any questions about talk prop odds. Jim, we're certainly going to do a lot more Derby talk in the afternoon.
So we don't need to hammer it too long. Mm-hmm. But are you going to pop up the odds here? So a lot of guys are liking My Boy Jack. And again, we can't let this recency bias, because that win he just had 3 weeks ago, I mean, it was a 90 buyer. It was a win that he was expected to have. But in saying that, he's a nice horse. And he's worth using in your exotics. He rallies every time. He rallies every race. And the Desormo brothers do a good job. And Ken's won 3 derbies. So he's going to be passing a ton of tired horses late. If you're looking at matchup situations, My Boy Jack, 30-1. I mean, it's really exciting to have a horse that you know is going to come running. And you know My Boy Jack's going to come running. Now, the issue is this is a nice horse, but in an extremely tough spot. Mm-hmm. And I just think this is too much for him. But he'll be passing tired horses. He'll be coming up at the end. I just don't think he can do enough.
All right, so if you want to fade Audible, Vino Rosso against Audible is a plus 135 to beat Audible. Bolt Doro is minus 119 to beat Audible. And Hofburg is plus 135 to beat Audible. And Justify is a big favorite, minus 156 to beat Audible. Any of those feel appealing to you, Jim?
A lot of them do. Mm-hmm. A lot of them do. My 2 favorite long shots, and now Vino Rosso, I mean, people are seeing that this is a special horse. Now, we talked about it yesterday. Very rare for a New York bred horse to be able to win the Derby, and they just haven't been as good as California horses or Kentucky horses. But Vino Rosso is a very, very good horse. That was a really impressive run in the Wood Memorial. He ran a 98 buyer. He came from 9 lengths back. And Johnny Velasquez is telling us he's special. So if we can get him at 12-1, it's a nice spot. Mm-hmm. But for a long shot, Hofburg with only 3 races under his belt, Hofburg could be sitting on a giant race. Mm-hmm. Hofburg, 20-1 morning line, is improved every race by a lot. He came second in the Florida Derby after starting out 15 lengths back. Now, these guys like Hofberg, Vino Rosso, as Pete was saying, they're going to need a trip.
Yeah.
And with 20 horses, that's a hard thing to create.
Yes.
You know, and it's better to be way outside like Vinny Rosso is than to be right on the rail.
Mm-hmm.
We know that. So, Carlos Barros says 50% chance of rain. It looks like that keeps going down.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see. But Justify and Mendelssohn's been running on turf.
Mm-hmm.
So Mendelssohn's been running on soft ground.
Mm-hmm.
So Mendelssohn won't have a problem, I don't think, with the wet. And Justify is just a special horse. Now, obviously, these horses like Hofberg and Justify, we can't say that they're going to be fine in the mud. I mean, because they're the greenest of them all. So that will take a little bit more reflection. But I like Justify to break the Curse of Apollo. I'm betting on Justify to break the 136-year Curse of Apollo.
Okay, we'll have a dedicated section for the horses, and we'll try to what's the word? Not single. What's the fucking word? Where you take 15 minutes and you're like you dedicate it just to that. We'll try to dedicate a 15-minute at least segment, just to the Derby in the afternoon show. We'll of course talk about the line movements in the NBA and NHL playoffs, as well as the full slate of MLB games tonight. Should be a packed show today at 6 o'clock Eastern time. Thanks so much. We'll see you then. We love you. Thanks so much.